And here's update 1 on Tropical Storm Leepi, international name, Emong the Philippine name, and the storm's moving northwards now, passing the Japanese islands as a tropical storm, minimal tropical storm albeit, but still a tropical storm nonetheless, and could cause some rainfall, heavy rainfall in Japan, and it's expected to curve towards the northeast as a tropical storm, passing the mainland Japanese islands as well, as it turns extratropical as it goes out to sea. Gale advisory is already in effect for the Miyako, Yaeyama, Okinawa and Amami Islands, all the Japanese chain islands there. Also having Japanese down there as well, which is a bit of an experiment, but hopefully it works translation wise. But gale advisory is in effect for there, and it could be a fairly wet storm as well for some regions, but sustained winds will probably not be the main concern, considering that the storm's only peaking with sustained winds of 40 miles per hour at the moment. So let's take a look at the sea surface temperature. You can see very warm temperatures where the storm is at the moment, though it will get a bit cooler for it, around 26 degrees north of the islands, but still warm enough for tropical storms, and that's likely to continue as it heads towards Japan, and only after it strikes Japan the storm's expected to definitely weaken as a tropical storm and then towards extratropical transition. Here's the latest satellite imagery. You can see it, not the best organised storm in the world, not the best looking one either, but it's moving towards sort of north-northwest direction towards the Miyako and Yaeyama Islands in Japan, and it's likely to pass very close to the one on the right. I think that's the Yaeyama Island, I'm not too sure, but the island there on the right is likely to get very close to the centre of the storm in the next 24 hours. So let's take a look elsewhere in the Pacific. 94W is active, the Invest at the moment. That will be covered in more detail in the tropical weather bulletin this evening, because that's got a fairly low chance of development at the moment. You can see it there on the Pacific Ocean image, and there's Leepi as well, which is expected of course to go towards the north and then to the northeast, scraping the Japanese coastline and probably making landfall on the one of the islands on Kyushu Island as a tropical storm in the next 2 days or so. So let's take a look at 2013 compared so far. Obviously it's still very early into the West Pacific season, but so far we've had 3 tropical storms, no typhoons or major typhoons, category 3 or higher, and that's quite away from 69th place 2010. That's still the quietest on record, with 14 tropical storms, 7 typhoons and 4 reaching category 3 status, but I'm sure that will change very soon for 2013. Don't forget you can track the storm and indeed any other storms of your interest on the Force 13 website /stormtracking.html, and there you can go in depth on the overview map by which the region that interests you, and then you can see the updated tracking map and forecast and warning information, of course, when that becomes relevant, and obviously it is relevant here with the gale warnings in effect for a lot of the Japanese islands, and it's likely to extend towards the mainland as the storm approaches. Already there are warnings over the mainland to do with a system that isn't related to Leepi at the moment, so that's obviously not going to help matters when Leepi arrives on the scene. And more on the worldwide tropical storm situation and on the tropical weather bulletin this evening at around midnight UTC.